What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished their 1 o'clock p.m., thankfully a daytime matchup, a Week 4 matchup with the Houston Texans in the 2023 NFL season. Pittsburgh comes into this game 2-1, and all the fans were kind of excited about this being a get-right game for the Steelers. Houston being our weakest team on our schedule so far. Pittsburgh's defense flashed in a good Week 2 divisional win. Last week we had our best complete game of the season. Offense started showing some signs of growth. Pittsburgh comes in with 2 straight wins against the rookie quarterback in Houston, even though Stroud's been very good so far. Rookie quarterback, one of the worst and most injured and most unknown offensive lines for the Houston Texans, so Pittsburgh fans kind of assumed this one was going to be an easy win for us. I wouldn't say easy, but I had this one marked initially as a win on our schedule, and of course we come out and get slaughtered. Spoiler alert, final score, Houston 30, Pittsburgh 6. There's not going to be a ton to say in today's review because there's not a ton to talk about. Let's start off this review by talking about all the positive things Pittsburgh did in this game. Okay, now let's discuss all the negative things Pittsburgh did in this game. We got destroyed all the way around the board. Kenny Pickett, once again, did not look great in this game. The play calling, once again, was not great in this game. Running the ball in the first half was absolutely putrid. The offensive line was putrid. The defense had a hard time tackling. The coverage guys had a hard time covering the number one receiver, just like all the other 3 weeks of this season. The run game got open with some good blocking by the Texans O-line. I want to give some credit where credit is due today. Houston has always had some young talent, but couldn't really put it all together. C.J. Stroud is already in Week 4 better than I expected him to be in the NFL. I didn't see a ton from him at Ohio State that I liked. He already has exceeded my expectations from when he was drafted, so I give Stroud some credit. And again, this offensive line was coming in with guys off the practice squad, Kendrick Green, guys like that, and they really held their own today. Pittsburgh, number 1, has no splash plays to speak of. One forced fumble that the Texans did recover. No fumble recoveries for us. No sacks for us. No interceptions for us. No real splash plays. Nothing at all of energy on really either side of the ball, but especially on defense. And Houston's playmakers really made some plays. C.J. Stroud over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Once again, still has not thrown an NFL-level pick yet in the regular season. He played a clean game. He was not sacked or really even hit much at all or pressured all that much. Dameon Pierce got himself going, very talented young runner who's been struggling. He got himself right against Pittsburgh. Nico Collins finishes with like 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. The 4th week in a row, the number 1 receiver of the other team has torched us, so we have a lot to worry about. Let's do offensive stats here. Kenny Pickett, 15 of 23 for just 114 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. Oh, man, just a really, really bad game. Couldn't be much worse. Also goes out with an injury. Broderick Jones comes in for an injured player. So we played this game without James Daniels already, so Nate Herbig got his first start on the other side. And then we get an injury to Dan Moore. So Broderick Jones comes in and then allows a sack where he gets just brushed right by, and Kenny Pickett gets hit, and the weight of the defender rolls up on Kenny Pickett's knee. So Kenny Pickett limps off the field and does not return. Trubisky comes in for a short time. Trubisky goes 3 of 5 for just 18 yards. The game by that point was already decided. The game was already over. So Pickett with a really, really bad game. Takes one shot downfield early on a promising first drive. Underthrows Calvin Austin. The ball gets picked off. It's a one-on-one ball, but it was underthrown. So a bad pick for Kenny there. Again, just 114 yards. Pittsburgh goes into the half down 16-0. No points, no red zone plays, only about 50 yards total offense. 50 yards and a half with no points. So the second half winds up being a little better. We at least get 2 field goals out of it, but still finish this game only in the red zone 3 times, only 2 field goals, no touchdowns for the whole game. Again, the offensive line was bad, even coming in with 1 injury and then Broderick coming in a couple series into the game. Offensive line doesn't do much better. These running backs are getting hit as soon as they touch the ball. Kenny will be doing a delayed draw, and as soon as the running back touches the ball, whether it's Najee or Jalen, they're getting hit 5 yards in the backfield immediately. People want us to trade for Jonathan Taylor from Indianapolis. He wouldn't do any better here. Barry fucking Sanders wouldn't do any better here. If you're getting hit 5 yards off the ball as soon as you're touching the ball and you can't even cradle the ball in your arms when you're getting smacked by 300-pound guys, it's going to be tough for you. That said, the running game did step up in the second half. Nothing good in the first half, but several good runs in the second. Najee Harris, 14 carries, 71 yards, the best game of his season so far, plus a beautiful 32-yard catch downfield. So overall, 15 touches for Najee, 102 yards, his best game. Like I said, nothing good in the first half, but second half, he had a couple really nice plays. Two 20-plus yard runs, plus a 30-yard catch. So decent day for Najee, breaking some tackles in the second half and getting better as the game went along. So there's some positives there. Jaylen Warren, 7 carries for 25 yards, also 6 catches for 26 yards. That being said, Najee and then Jaylen at 32 and then 26 were our leading receivers for the day. When you get to wide receivers, our leader is George Pickens, 3 catches for 25 yards. That's all we have. Again, quarterback is not really making great reads. He's not looking downfield. The play calling's not good. The offensive line's not good. The running game took more than a whole half to get started in this game. Nothing is good for this offense right now. I have O-line get some negatives. Broderick didn't look great when he came in there. Mason Cole didn't look great. Nobody looked great. Injuries again. Pat Freiermuth went down in the, I think, third quarter, did not return, so Washington came in. Pat also had a bad game as well. Not only was he not really getting open in the middle of the field, but he had a hard time blocking on the end of the line. He was trying to block and help out Broderick and whoever else was out there. Dan Moore, I guess. Pat missed on some blocks. He was getting blown up by not Will Anderson, but the other edge rusher for the Texans, who's a pretty unknown guy, talented guy, but an unknown guy. Blew us up several times for a lot of pressures. So Pat blocking and Pat not getting open and then Pat getting injured. Bad game for Pat. Bad game for the entire offensive line. Again, we wind up with injuries to Dan Moore in this game, Kenny Pickett in this game, Pat Freiermuth in this game. That's not in our favor either. Defensively, we allowed 30 points to a young Texans team. Again, some talented guys. Tank Dell didn't do much. John Mechie didn't do much. Nico Collins and Damian Pierce were the big weapons for them. Stroud played a smart and efficient game. Really picked us apart in the middle of the field a lot. We got beat by Dalton Schultz and a couple of the slot receivers today. I don't like the coverage from Landon Roberts today. He had 1 or 2 nice hits in the run game, but coverage-wise, Landon Roberts was getting blown up. Holcomb didn't do much coverage-wise. The middle of the field was open quite a bit. And I'm going to have to do this again for, I think, the fourth time in 4 weeks, right? Levi Wallace and Patrick Peterson both get negatives in this game. Levi Wallace started off pretty nice. He did get 2 early pass deflections. Then he gave a touchdown up to Nico Collins, where he had really good coverage. Collins did a step to the outside and a short slant inside. Hard route to cover, especially in short grass in the end zone. Wallace was in pretty good position, got his arm in, but it wasn't enough to knock the ball away. Nico Collins with strong hands. That's the first touchdown. So not a bad play by Wallace. He was there, but still got a touchdown given up on him. And then the second touchdown for Nico Collins was a beautiful deep shot from Stroud to Nico Collins, where Patrick Peterson got beat and then missed a tackle, and Collins went into the end zone. So once again, Wallace makes some plays today. Peterson doesn't do much, but either way, both guys get torched for some big plays. Again, Collins is the 4th 100-yard receiver given up in 4 weeks by this team. Most of that on Levi Wallace, some on Peterson as well. So I don't like what either of these two guys are doing. And once again, I'm going to call for Joey Porter Jr. to get in there more. He played a little bit, got, I think, 2 tackles in the run game, was kind of on the edge in the run game, played decent there for some tackles, had a nice pass deflection on 3rd down. Where the ball was thrown to the outside. I don't think he deflected it. It was more just like a thrown ball out of bounds, but it was good coverage where he got off the field again on 3rd down. He's gotten off the field on 3rd down plays when he's been targeted on 3rd down all 4 games this season. Put this guy in more. What's it going to hurt? What does it really hurt at this point right now? With our coverage as bad as it's been and our defense overall as bad as it's been, what is it going to hurt to put Wallace on the bench and at least let Porter start with Peterson and bring Wallace in as our 3rd guy / backup outside guy? What does it really hurt at this point? Give Porter more of an opportunity. We're already getting torched. What's it going to matter if Porter's in there? He's making positive plays, both in tackles and in 3rd down getting off the field. 3rd down for our offense was miserable today, but a couple of times Porter made some plays. Put him in more. I do want to give a couple of positives for this defense. And I'm going to say again, no splash plays. TJ and Highsmith both did hit the quarterback several times and cause a couple errant throws out of bounds. but they didn't get to the quarterback. There was no forced fumbles there. There was no sacks there. There was no simultaneous hits there. So I'm never going to give Highsmith and Watt a negative, but playing against this Texans offensive line that's one of the weaker ones in the league and one of the more tumultuous and injured ones, I would think that both Watt and Highsmith would get to the quarterback here. I was expecting a 6 or 7 sack day, to be honest with you. I thought getting sacks and putting Houston in second and third and long was going to be our best defense today, and it was not. So I give the offensive line of the Texans a lot of credit, but I want to scold our defensive line a little bit. But I do want to give some interior positives. I like the fact that Keanu Benton, Montravis Adams, and DeMarvin Leal are all around the ball. They're getting off the ball a little bit in the run game, and they're following the ball. Even whenever there's broken tackles, they're following the ball and putting a lot of effort in getting downfield to make tackles. I want to give those 3 guys credit because Leal, I think, had about 3 tackles today. He was around the ball a good bit. Montravis Adams is a bigger, slower guy, but he makes a lot of effort. I like to see his effort out there. And Keanu Benton, once again, playing well. The only forced fumble of the day was Keanu Benton. It was on a second or third down. He knocked the ball out of the guy's hands. Another Texan recovered over the first down line, so they still got a first down play out of it. But Benton did force a fumble. So, again, get him in the game more. Like, as much as I like what Adams is doing, what's it going to hurt at this point with Pittsburgh's defense being what it is and Pittsburgh giving up big running plays to all 4 running backs this season? What does it really hurt for us? I mean, Pierce at this point had like 70 or 80 yards rushing. What's it going to hurt for us to put Benton in the middle of the game there? Put Ogunjobi and Leal out there until Hayward gets back and stick Benton in the middle. What is it really going to hurt? Let's see what he can do. Put him out there more. So that's kind of a positive. I'm also going to give a positive to Minkah Fitzpatrick for leading the team in tackles again with 7. He was all around the field, but didn't make any splash plays today and wasn't really big in coverage today. So nothing special out of this defense. Special teams-wise, Boswell goes 2 for 2, gets all 6 points for us. Pittsburgh only gets in the red zone 3 times. The third time we went for it on 4th down. Called a really bad shotgun play instead of a running play on 4th and 1 when Najee was heating up. They keep the ball in Kenny's hands. That's whenever the rookie got burnt and Pickett got sacked and got hurt. So Boswell goes 2 for 2. Brad Wing is our punter today. Presley Harvin was hurt last week. He's been one of the team's MVPs over the past 2 weeks. What a great week 2 and 3 Presley Harvin had. Didn't play today. Brad Wing came in, played okay. 5 punts, 238 yards. That is 47.6 yards per punt average, and one of his 5 punts inside the 20. So not a bad day out of a backup punter in Brad Wing. But overall, just, again, 30-6. Not much good to say. Defensively, not tackling the running back, not getting enough pressure interiorly or exteriorly, not giving the running back too many lanes, no splash plays on defense. Offensively, not good blocking, untimely injuries, quarterback not looking good setting his feet, not taking shots downfield, not terribly accurate. The play calling's still not good. Matt Canada's been atrocious. We need wholesale changes on this team. Part of me, as much as I don't want to see Pickett get benched, and I definitely don't want to see Pickett get hurt or anybody get hurt for that matter, part of me was like, okay, we're at least getting a change at quarterback here for Trubisky to come in and try something. Trubisky throws one down the field on a second pass attempt and should have gotten picked off. George Pickens played defense to knock the ball out of the guy's hand, or it would have gotten picked on the second pass attempt. So I don't like what I'm seeing out of the quarterbacks. The running backs are taking too long to get going. The offensive line's allowing too much pressure in the run and pass game, and the play calling is bad. So every phase of this game is bad. Pittsburgh comes in and gets blown out 30-6. Nothing much good to say. So what showed up to you guys this week on tape? Who did you like? Who did you hate? And what changes do you want to see? I mean, obviously, number one, I want to see Canada get fired and get a fresh body in here. I know they're not going to do that at the very least until after the break, the bye week break. If at all, probably not at all, but if they're going to do it, it's going to be after the bye week. But Pittsburgh now goes to 2-2, and while being 2-2 is not the worst thing in the world, especially with the Bengals and just most teams in the league in general right now kind of struggling, there's not a lot of teams a whole lot better than 2-2, so I don't feel terrible about the record, but I do feel bad about this loss to this team. So we got to make some changes. What do you guys think we ought to do? Can we salvage Kenny Pickett? Is he the guy? Can we get rid of Matt Canada? Can the offensive line find a group that is, consistent for us? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments down below, and please like, share, and subscribe if you like these Steeler deep dives, and I'll bring you guys another one next week for the Steelers against the Ravens. Take care, friends.